The trust factor is at an all-time low, and people are at an all-time desperation because there's still a ton of agents in the market and there's less and less sales every single month. And so when there's less sales, there's more desperation and people come out with commission bribe. So instead of having a conversation that's all about you, Cody, they have a conversation that's all about them. And they're doing things that's good for them, but not necessarily the things that are good for the prospect. And you can tell because the first thing that you do when you meet a new buyer is you ask them, what are your qualifications? How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, price point? And then the next question is when do you want to move? How soon do you want to be there? Are you pre-approved? And what does the prospect say? Well, I'm not in a rush. Well, I'm not quite sure. Well, I don't know what we're looking for. Well, we need to think about it, right? Why? Because they've talked to 6 other agents that said the same thing. I just got off the phone with an agent right now, prospect, and I asked him how many conversations they had per day. And he said he's having anywhere from 10 to 15. And I said, that's awesome, right? Because that's what the industry teaches you, right? It's what the standard, real estate coach says is you need 10 to 15 conversations a day. And I said, out of that 10, 15 conversations, how many appointments did you book? And the excuse started flying. Well, they're not in the market. Well, they're online leads. Well, this, well, that. And the excuse started to flow. I just said, I get it, man, right? Most people that are looking to buy or sell, it's a long-term plan because it's a big purchase. But how many appointments did you book? You spent how many hours on the phone today? He said about 2.5 hours. I said, so for your 2.5 hours of effort, how many people decided that they wanted to sit down with you, kind of like what we're doing, and have a face-to-face conversation about life, business, and their next steps? And he goes, 0. I said, how many appointments do you book a week? He said, maybe 1 to 2. And I said, you're having 14 to 15 to 10 conversations a day, yes, and you're booking 1 appointment. So out of 50 to 75 conversations a week, you've only booked maybe 1 appointment. He says, how many did you book for the month? He goes, 2. So it's actually not even 1 appointment a week, right? I love the math that we use in our world. It's half an appointment a week for all of that effort, for 12 to 15 hours of work. Well, no wonder people don't want to prospect, right? I would hate if I was on the phone for hours and hours and I couldn't get somebody to sit down and meet me, even for a Zoom coffee date, I would quit. I wouldn't do it. Of course, I would only want to work my sphere and my referrals, right? And there's kind of 2 camps of agents out there. There's the first camp that's doing all right. They're doing the referrals, they're doing the sphere, they're doing the open houses, but the referral game is super inconsistent. So when I asked him how many referrals he's getting per month, he's like, maybe 1 to 2. Well, if you're getting 1 or 2 referrals and you're trying to do 2 deals a month, then everybody you get referred to has to transact for you to hit your goal. That's absurd, right? That's 100% conversion rate, but people are 30, 60, 90 days out. So that's not going to happen. Some people don't qualify. Some people, it actually doesn't make sense for them to move. So it doesn't even make sense for everybody to do that. So now you're putting all of your eggs in that basket. How many open houses are you doing? Well, I stopped doing open houses. Why? They weren't converting. What's your process? Well, I don't like certain types of people in open houses, or I don't collect information because I feel like that's salesy. Who told you that? My old mentor at this old brokerage, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, so how many open houses did you do last year? I don't know, 20. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Plus setup time, plus breakdown time, plus getting the house ready. It's 100 hours of work. And how many appointments, how many sales came from open houses last year? Maybe 1. Well, of course I wouldn't want to do that either. 100 hours to get maybe 1 paycheck, right? Maybe 1 paycheck. The reason why agents don't work, right? And you probably have an opinion on this, but the reason why agents don't work isn't because they're scared of work. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's that they've had such bad results and they've seen all of their friends have the same bad results that they stop because the people they're asking for assistance learn the same exact sales process and sales method and conversation tactics that's been around for 40 years, and it doesn't work in this post-COVID antitrust world, right? We've been through so many major events, and the consumers right now were if trust was here pre-COVID, which is pretty low, let's say trust for a doctor is here, right? So if trust for a doctor is here, realtors were here, right? Well, now doctors are here and realtors are below politicians. And then you say, I'm going to put you on a drip and I'll send you to my loan officer. If you see something you like, give me a call. You're telling the prospect to do your job. Hey, why don't I connect you with one of my preferred partners? Like, would it be cool if I just do a quick 3-way call with them right now? Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do a quick 3-way call. I can listen in. I can kind of share a little bit about like what you're looking for and the taxes. And so they have a better picture of what you could possibly qualify for. They can do some soft pulls, or they can just give you an idea based off of like what your estimated credit and monthly payments and down payment are. Would that be better? Would that be okay if we did that real quick just to kind of see where you're at? We don't even do a proper handoff to the loan officer. And so if we don't do a proper handoff, what happens? The whole system falls apart. So we're sending them to a loan officer. We're sending them an email or a text. The loan officer may or may not connect. We have no idea. We don't follow up properly. We tell them to call us when they see a property they like, and then we wonder why we don't provide value. That's not value to ask them how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how soon, could I connect you to a loan officer, and would you like to see houses? That provides zero actual value. But that's what's being taught across brokerages, teams. It's the same playbook script. It's the same shitty LP frickin' mama that didn't work 10 years ago and doesn't work now. And agents don't know why, and so they're frustrated, they're stressed, they're broken, and it's because the industry itself needs a shift. And so that's why, like, I always stress the first thing when I work with a client, if I work with the team, the first thing I stress is we have to learn the ultimate appointment booking formulas. We have to learn how to have a trust-based opener. We need to build the conversation in the first 15 seconds with trust. We need to get the overarching goal. We then need to have the ability to probe and clarify on that problem that they've now started sharing to get a level 2, 3, and a 4 problem. We then need to know what to say to book an appointment, and we need to know what to say how to actually make the appointment stick so the prospect doesn't cancel or ghost us. If we just did that as an industry, agents would book more appointments and have more opportunities. The second thing is, right, is the appointment booking, like the listing appointment or the buyer appointment, right? What do we do inside of each one of those? How do we talk about how we actually get buyers or how we actually get sellers for our prospects? We don't have a proper idea. We don't have the 4 quadrants of the buyer's universe or the seller's universe. We don't talk about market dynamics. The first thing the seller says is, hey, let's go for a tour. We say, sure. We go follow them around like a little puppy. Then they come back at the bottom of the stairs. The first question they ask is always the same. So what do you think it's worth? But now you're like, well, you know, I think we should sit down and we should talk about what your goals are. The seller's like, I already spent 20 minutes with you. In their mind, they've spent 20 minutes with you. In your mind, you've got nothing out of it. The same house, the same road. You already know what it is. You know, they haven't updated the carpet in 8 years. You already know what they need to do, but now they're thinking, I've spent 20 minutes with this guy. I want to know what the value of my home is. You're thinking, oh shit, I got 10 minutes left to try to build up my value proposition. So then you go right into your stats. Hey, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm with this company. I've been around for this long. I've done this many transactions. I know this and I know that. And because you start going into your stats, you actually are focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on yourself instead of your prospect. And which that does is it actually lowers your status. It makes you more salesy instead of more advisory. And I know you're doing it to try to be an advisor to show that you have experience, but we show them experience by showing them a process. Hey, let me show you how I get buyers for your property. Because what I found in my experience is that most sellers don't want an expensive, fancy marketing plan. They want a proven process to get a buyer. Would you agree? Yeah. So cool, can we walk through how we actually help you get a buyer? Sure. Hey, before we go on a tour, would it be okay if I show you and we strategize so that I know what I'm looking for in the property to make proper suggestions based off of your goals? Would it be cool if we strategize before we do a tour so I can see the home properly? So when you have an appointment booking formula, you have a buyer presentation, you have a listing consultation, that's all you need to be a successful 2 to 5 agent like every single month and make $50, $70, $100,000, right? Because people are going to refer you, you're going to have better conversations, you're going to convert the leads, you're going to convert the open house, you're going to have a lot more fun, it's a lot more easy, and you get to do more of the things that you love, which is not prospecting, it's actually helping people buy and sell real estate. So like this is why the TRIZ method, this is why I spent 2+ years of my life every day. You saw it when we were traveling. Every day. This is why I'm so passionate about it, is because people don't know how to do this. And as an industry, one of my first team members, right? He went from 3 years in the industry. He'd sold 5 houses. His first year with me, back in 2013, he made $200,000+. His take home. That wasn't including company split. That was his take home, right? And people are like, oh, he's so awesome. He wasn't awesome 6 weeks ago. He was awesome because he got a proven process that he followed like 60% of the way. And over time, as he got to the 70, the 80, the 90% of the process over 6, 12 months, he started making 250, 300, 350. And so it's not hard to do when you know what to do. So that's why I love the Triz method. That's why I promote the Triz method. That's why I'm so passionate about it. That's why you see me here at 7 o'clock in the morning and I don't leave till 7 o'clock at night. It's why I love teaching sales, is because it's transformational to not just your bank account, but it's transformational to the person, because when they start losing that stress, they get better health, they get better relationships, they have more time for their friends and family to do the things that they want. And that's what I like. Communication sales before buying leads and before hiring ISAs and before doing all the other social media stuff. It's build the right foundation to build a house or a skyscraper as tall as you want.